Hey, have you ever thought about if you could improvise with electronic instruments the same way you can improvise with guitar, piano, or even a violin? Well, I've been thinking about this about 10 years and I think I have figured out a method, a couple of techniques on how this is possible for anyone from any background and any experience level. So let me explain. Come here, let's go. Let's have a go. Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. Ooh, percussion. Okay, before I demonstrate this electronic improv performance, let me explain how I set it up and how you can do the same. I have figured out a way to kind of contextualize of the theory behind electronic improvisation. And I would put it into 4 categories. First one is knowledge. And the most important thing is that you make the session out of instruments that you feel 100% comfortable. So example, you wouldn't start improvise with a violin if you don't feel comfortable with it. So I was just editing this video and I just realized that I forgot to say that knowledge is the point why it took me 10 years to kind of build up this whole setup. So it took me ages to obviously learn Ableton Live, Push 2, all these electronic music instruments so comfortably that I could just sit down and just like play or stand up and play. But the point is that anyone can do it on any level as long as you just kind of get at least one instrument or one controller that you really feel comfortable with. I wanted to just add that. So let's go back to the film. Pick any equipment that you feel comfortable with. So for me personally, it's Push 2 because I'm so obsessed about it that I literally wrote my dissertation about it. Then I have my new babes called Nord Drum 3 because I just always find drumming a bit easier with actual sticks. Piano because I grew up with the piano. It's just very comfortable for me. But the main thing, the main focus here is this Monogram CC controller. I find it easy to have a controller that firstly is modular, so I can literally just customize it exactly as I want. It's small and it's really portable. You can create different profiles for different type of sessions. So example, for this session, I have FX here, I have looper here, and I have expression controls here, and then I have some beat repeat here. So these controls are customizable for almost any improvisation situations, whether I want to do a bigger set or I want to go on the road, play in a park or whatever I want with the different setup, like just the one MIDI controller and this. And I'm set to go. So the second part is flexibility. So flexibility means that you create yourself limitations. So this means that example, I would have just one wavetable. For synthesizer, I would just have one wavetable for bass. And then I have drum racks. So the limitations of just limiting yourself for a couple instruments is also gonna help with your flow because we know that searching for a right kick sound or snare sound, that's a buzzkill and that will destroy your flow. So you need to pick one instrument, pick a couple of sounds and stay with it. Don't start clicking the list because we know all now how that's gonna go. Okay, the third one is positive feedback loop. And what that means is that you have an instrument that has also control for expression. So we have expression controls, which means that you can actually interact with an instrument. So when we are talking about improvisation, it's super, super important that you feel comfortable enough to actually feel like you want to jam with it, that you feel that it's enhancing your workflow, enhancing your flow, and it's not stopping it. That's why I have expression controls and the Monogram CC plus the Push 2 is obviously extremely responsive. It keeps on making me feel good about the sounds that I make. And that is one of the most important things. The fourth one is workflow. So workflow is one of the most important things. And again, it kind of goes back to knowledge. What genre are you gonna do? You need to pick that already in your mind. So example, for me, it's really easy to make house. So I created a house beat. I already had a BPM in mind. Obviously, I can change it if I want to. And then I know exactly what song structure I have.
So, example, for house music, A, B, A, B is extremely normal song structure. So I had this in my mind. I also have a harmonic plan in my mind. What scale are we gonna stay in? So for me, I picked A minor. I know what scale to play in piano. I know what to play in there. Everything's set up into one scale. So I can't really go wrong with it. So have a workflow in your mind of just ideas, which direction you want to go. And that's again flexibility. And then you have everything set up to go. And then, for improvisation, I have a hat and I have instructions. What should I do in what point? Vocals, beats, chords. Example, if you don't know what lyrics to say, have a magazine, have a book, just read something and go with it. As a theater kid myself, you always need to say, yes, and. We can use the same thing in this. We just go with it. We just embrace the mistakes, embrace the weird lyrics, embrace everything, and just practice saying yes, and what to do next. That's it.
Okay, let's go, let's go, let's go. What comes first? What comes first? Ooh, percussion. Ooh. Oh, here's a good lyrics. My pleasure for physical listeners. Physical pleasure. 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 Physical pleasure.
Yes.
Physical pleasure. Physical pleasure. Physical pleasure. Physical Okay, now it's a couple days after the session of filming the improv. I just want to be completely honest. I was very nervous getting into it because as much as I have done the workflow and the improv in here in my studio, now I had someone filming me, you know, I had paid for someone to film me, you know, I booked a space, so there was a lot around it. And I was thinking like, the day before and the night before, I was like, oh my God, am I gonna actually be able to do this? Is my theory, is my whole workflow gonna work? And so I filmed it 5 times. Number 1 was good. Number 2, I did some kind of mistake. I think I forgot to change the microphone position when I was recording piano. Number 3, I think there was just something else that went wrong. You know, some silly little mistake. Number 4 was okay, and number 5 I think was the best take. So to be honest, 5 times, most of them worked pretty well. So I do feel that what more I use this technique and more do it live in front of people as well. Improv, like take aspects from other people. So example, I could have a gig where someone says, you know, what should I do next? Add chords. Okay, let's add chords. I do feel that with this setup, I can now feel comfortable doing it. If you would like to get comfortable with Push 2 the way that I'm comfortable with it, then go to my website because I have launched 2 courses on Push 2. The first one is Push 2 101, which kind of gets you going with the basics. It's super affordable, it's super easy for you to get from zero to get going with it for production and live performance. The second course is Push 2 Live Performance course, and it teaches you all the things you need to know for live performance like this. Links down below for both of the courses. Check them out now. Also, remember that there will be a thorough walkthrough of this whole session on my Patreon. Thank you firstly for all my Patreons here. You are absolute legends. Everybody who is upeat, mahtavat or mentory tier members are gonna see this walkthrough. To watch more content on Push 2 and live performance, check out this playlist. Or is it, which way is it? I'm not 100% sure. Thank you Monogram for sponsoring this video. I have really thoroughly enjoyed using the Monogram CC controller and will be using that a lot in the future as well. So thank you, have a great week. Bye. Oh, subscribe and hit the bell icon. You know that. Bye.